Operation Jackal, also known as Operation June Dawns, was an offensive of the Bosnian War fought between a combined Croatian Army and Croatian Defense Council Army against the Army of Republika Srpska from 7 to 26 June 1992. The offensive was a Croatian pre-emptive strike against the VRS, a Bosnian Serb military formed in May 1992 from JNA units that were stationed in Bosnia and Herzegovina. The HV concluded that the Yugoslav People's Army offensive operations of April and May 1992, resulting in the capture of Kupres and much of the Neretva River valley south of Mostar, were aimed at capturing or threatening the Croatian port of Ploče and possibly Split. To counter this threat, the Croatian leadership deployed the HV, under the command of General Janko Bobetko, to the southern front, including the area in which Operation Jackal was to be conducted. The offensive marked the first significant Bosnian Serb defeat in the war and placed the HV in a favorable position to push back the VRS and remnants of the JNA holding positions north and east of Dubrovnik. The HV later re-established overland links with the city, which had been under siege by the JNA since late 1991. The attack resulted in an HVO victory and the capture of approximately 1,800 square kilometers of territory in and around Mostar and Starlac. Background: in August 1990, a Serbian uprising occurred in Croatia centered on the Dalmatian hinterland around the city of Nin, parts of the Lika, Gordon, and Banovina regions, as well as in settlements in eastern Croatia with significant Serb populations. The areas were subsequently named the Republic of Serbian Krajina. The RSK, supported by Serbia, declared its intention to integrate with Serbia and was denounced by the government of Croatia as a rebellion. Tensions rose, and by March 1991 the Croatian War of Independence had broken out, with the disintegration of Yugoslavia. In June 1991 Croatia issued its Declaration of Independence, which became official on the 8th of October after a 3-month moratorium. The RSK then initiated a campaign of ethnic cleansing against Croatian civilians, and most non-Serbs were expelled by early 1993. In May 1991, the Croatian National Guard, subsequently renamed the Croatian Army in November, was formed as a result of growing support for the RSK from the Yugoslav People's Army and the inability of the Croatian police to cope with the situation. The establishment of the military of Croatia was hampered by UN arms embargo introduced in September. The final months of 1991 saw the fiercest fighting of the war, culminating in the Battle of the Barracks, the Siege of Dubrovnik, and the Battle of Vukovar. In January 1992, the Sarajevo Agreement was signed by representatives of Croatia, the JNA and the UN, and a ceasefire call. After a series of unsuccessful ceasefires, the United Nations Protection Force was deployed to Croatia to supervise and maintain the agreement. The conflict largely passed on to entrenched positions, and the JNA soon retreated from Croatia into Bosnia and Herzegovina, where a new conflict was anticipated, as the Yugoslav People's Army withdrew from Croatia following the acceptance and start of implementation of the Vance Plan. Its 55,000 officers and soldiers born in Bosnia and Herzegovina were transferred to a new Bosnian Serb army, which was later renamed the Army of Republika Srpska. This reorganization followed the declaration of the Serbian Republic of Bosnia and Herzegovina on the 9th of January 1992, ahead of the 29th of February the 1st of March 1992 referendum on independence of Bosnia and Herzegovina. This declaration would later be cited as a pretext for the Bosnian Bosnian War, Bosnian Serbs began fortifying the capital, Sarajevo, and other areas on the 1st of March. On the following day, the first fatalities of the war were recorded in Sarajevo and Doboj. In the final days of March, the Bosnian Serb army bombarded Bosanski Brod with artillery, drawing a border crossing by the HV 108th Brigade in response. On the 4th of April, JNA artillery began shelling Sarajevo. The JNA and the VRS in Bosnia and Herzegovina faced the Army of the Republic of Bosnia and Herzegovina and the Croatian Defense Council, reporting to the Bosniak-dominated central government and the Bosnian Croat leadership respectively, as well as the HV, which occasionally supported HVO operations. Prelude. In April 1992, the JNA renewed offensive operations against the HV and the HVO in areas of western and southern Herzegovina near Kupres and Starlac. The JNA's 2nd Military District, commanded by Colonel General Milutin Kukanjak, deployed elements of the 5th Banja Luka Corps and the 9th NIN Corps to the Kupres region, capturing the town from the HV and the HVO jointly defending the area in the 1992 Battle of Kupres on the 7th of April and threatening Livno and Tomislavgrad to the southwest. The 4th Military District of the JNA, commanded by General Pavle Struga, employed the 13th Bileka Corps and the 2nd Titograd Corps to capture Starlac and most of the eastern bank of the Neretva River south of Mostar. The fighting around Mostar and JNA artillery attacks on the city started on the 6th of April, with the town of Siroki Brijeg coming under attack by the Yugoslav Air Force on 7 to 8 April, while a Croatian attack of the 9th of April failed to capture a JNA-controlled airfield in Mostar. The Bosnian Serb Territorial Defense Force captured 2 nearby hydroelectric power plants on the Neretva River, and the JNA pushed the HVO force from Starlac on the 11th of April. Kapeljina, 25 kilometers southwest from Mostar, came under intermittent JNA artillery and air attacks. A ceasefire was arranged on the 7th of May, but the JNA and the Bosnian Serb forces resumed the attack the next day. The attack succeeded in capturing a large part of Mostar and some territory on the west bank of the Neretva River. On the 12th of May, the transfer of JNA forces based in Bosnia and Herzegovina to the VRS was completed, and those JNA units which had not been transferred to the VRS withdrew from Bosnia and Herzegovina to the newly declared Federal Republic of Yugoslavia, while the JNA planned the offensive to pre-empt a Croatian attack on Serb-held territory. Croatia saw the moves as a prelude to JNA attacks on southern Croatia, specifically aimed at the Port of Ploče and possibly Split. To counter the perceived threat, the HV deployed additional troops to the area redesignated as the Southern Front. HV General Janko Bobetko, appointed to command the Southern Front, reorganized the HVO command structure and assumed command of the HVO in the area to stop the expected JNA-VRS offensive and regain lost territory along the Neretva River. In late May, Bobetko launched an attack along the Adriatic coast and in its immediate hinterland, towards besieged Dubrovnik, linking up with the HV force in the city and breaking the JNA encirclement of the city by the 1st of June. The attack coincided with a JNA withdrawal towards Dubrovnik Airport in Konoval in positions within Bosnia and Herzegovina borders, 2 to 10 kilometers away from the coast. On the 23rd of May, the HVO captured the Hum mountain south of Mostar. Order of battle. The HV and the HVO committed 4,670 troops to Operation Jackal. The HVO deployed various units stationed or raised in the area, mostly drawn from Mostar, Siroki Brigade, and Sitlak. The HV contributed the 4th Guards Brigade, elements of the 116th Infantry Brigade and the 156th Infantry Brigade. The HV troops were deployed around Kapelgina for the main attack across the Neretva River and on the right flank of the Axis, while the HVO troops were deployed to the left, as well as in the Kapelgina area. The VRS Herzegovina Corps, commanded by Major General Radovan Grubak, consisted of the 10th and 13th Brigades as well as Ljubanja territorial defense troops in the area of Mostar and Starlak. Timeline. Operation Jackal, or alternatively Operation June Dawns, commenced on the 7th of June 1992. The attacking HVO force moved east and north from Kapelgina towards Starlak and Mostar, aiming to push the VRS back from the Neretva River and capture positions around Mostar. The HVO force captured the first objective of the offensive, the town of Tasivcici, located across the Neretva River opposite Kapelgina. On the 8th of June, the HV component of the force which captured Tasivcici, the 156th Infantry Brigade, was detached from the force tasked with continued advance to capture Klepchi and Prebilavci to protect the right flank of the Neretva bridgehead. The HV 116th Infantry Brigade held the Neretva River valley south of the bridgehead and east of Metkovic, as the VRS Herzegovina Corps positions around Tasivcici collapsed. The attacking forces were able to quickly move east along its planned line of advance. On the 11th of June, the Mostar HVO forces attacked VRS positions on the west bank of the Neretva River, south of the city of Mostar, in support of the main attack. The advance was immediately successful, capturing the villages of Vada, Krosovo, Jasnuka, Slipkici and the Ulavac mountain. The HVO captured JNA VRS heliport barracks in Mostar the same day. On the 12th of June, the HVO pushed all remaining VRS forces east across the river. The 1st Herzegovina Brigade of the HVO and the 156th Infantry Brigade advanced northeast from Kapelgina and captured villages of Bivaljubrdo and Dugve, 10 kilometers away from the Neretva crossing point. The 116th Infantry Brigade, spearheading the tactical Group 2, consisting of the brigade and supporting HVO troops, staged a rapid breakthrough and reached outskirts of Starlak, approximately 20 kilometers east of the Neretva crossing. The advance northeast towards Mostar continued north through Pijeski and Gubovica and reached the southern approaches to Mostar on the 14th of June. HVO units attacking from Kapelgina secured Starlak by capturing VRS positions in Hodova, approximately 8 kilometers north of Starlak, on the 15th of June. The same day, the 4th Battalion of the Mostar HVO captured JNA Sjeveni Logor barracks in Mostar, while other elements of the HVO Mostar force captured nearby Fort Kahil overlooking the city. The final part of the northward advance of the force that set off from Kapelgina was routed through Buna and Blagaj villages, which were also captured on the 15th of June. In order to complete a link up with the advancing HV and HVO units, the Mostar HVO forces, supported by the HV's 4th Battalion of the 4th Guards Brigade, moved south from the city through Jasnuka. The two advancing forces met at the Mostar International Airport on the 17th of June. The HV and the HVO completely pushed the VRS from Mostar, advancing further east along the slopes of the Velez mountain and capturing high ground overlooking the city by the 21st of June. The RB supported the eastward push from the city only in a secondary role. Even though the front lines did not move significantly to the east, the city of Mostar was relatively secure from future VRS attacks. The offensive is considered to have ended on the 26th of June, when the HVO captured the Mrzinglava peak of the Velez mountain. Aftermath: the HV and the HVO captured approximately 1,800 square kilometers of territory during Operation Jackal, and the supporting attacks around Mostar, as well as handing the VRS the first significant defeat in the Bosnian War. The offensive removed a direct threat posed by the JNA and the VRS to Metković, and it accomplished the Croatian objective of capturing positions that were favorable to staging further offensives against JNA and VRS forces, still positioned near Dubrovnik. The follow-up Operation Tiger was the first HV offensive to exploit the success of Operation Jackal and improve Croatian military positions on the southern front in general, but specifically around Dubrovnik. HV deployment to Bosnia and Herzegovina not only gained them significant experience in the execution of large-scale military offensives, but also denied the Bosnian Serb VRS forces the chance to pursue a decisive victory.